Hello everyone, today we are going to start a new chapter, coordinate geometry. Earlier we have discussed how to locate 2 on a number line or how to locate -3 on a number line, 2 here on a number line toward the right of origin, -3 here toward the left of origin, these 4 above the origin, this -3 below the origin, and it's x dash and this y dash. But how to locate a position not on a number line but in a plane? If it is a page of your notebook and this you have to locate the position of this point P on your page, then how you will locate? One student will say it's near the upper edge, another will say it's near the left edge, but not exact position. So one student take the step and he measured this distance and it is suppose 5 centimeter, and another student, but not sufficient, and then another student measured this distance and suppose it is 11 centimeter. Now we can describe the position of this point on the page. So what we need? We need 2 information to describe the position on a page. We need 2 information, one along the horizontal and another along the vertical. If in the same way, suppose you are designing the city map and there are 2 crossroads, one along the north-south and another east-west direction. These are the main road east-west direction and north-south direction, they are crossing each other perpendicularly. Then the streets of the city are parallel to these roads. Streets of the cities are parallel to these roads. Suppose street number 1 in the east-west direction, street number 2 in the east-west direction, street number 3 in the east-west direction, and street number 4 in the east-west direction. Then street number 1 north-south direction, street number 2 north-south direction, street number 3, 4 and so on. If I have to locate the position of this cross street, then what will be the position of this cross street? So it is street number 2 in the north-south direction and street number 1, 2, 3, 4 in the east-west direction. So we can locate street cross section A by point 2, 4. Clear? Students, in the same way, if we take this number line, horizontal number line, x dash x, and this vertical number line y dash y, this horizontal line and this vertical axis, these 2 axes when cross each other at their origin, they are crossing each other at their origin O. Now these axes when cross each other perpendicularly, they divide this plane into 4 parts. First quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant and fourth quadrant namely. Clear? This is the first quadrant, second, third, fourth. These axes divide the plane into 4 quadrants, first, second, third, fourth. Now this is the positive x-axis, positive y-axis, negative x-axis and negative y-axis. Suppose we have to locate point A. Then point A, its perpendicular distance from x-axis and perpendicular distance from y-axis. So perpendicular distance from y-axis representing 3 unit and perpendicular distance from x-axis representing 2 unit. So 3 is called x coordinate or abscissa and 2 is called y coordinate or coordinate. Means perpendicular distance from y-axis is x coordinate and perpendicular distance from x-axis is y coordinate or coordinate. So in first quadrant both x and y coordinates are positive. If I have to represent this point B, then what I will do, perpendicular distance from y-axis, its perpendicular distance from y-axis 4 unit, so -4 because toward the left side of the origin, and perpendicular distance from x-axis, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 unit. So perpendicular distance from y-axis is x coordinate or abscissa and perpendicular distance from y-axis is y coordinate or coordinate. And in second quadrant x is negative and y is positive. And in the similar way, in third quadrant, if I have to locate this point C, and this C perpendicular distance from y-axis and it is -5, and perpendicular distance from x-axis it is -3. Abscissa and coordinate both are negative in the third quadrant. And in similar way, fourth quadrant, if I have to locate this point, so perpendicular distance from y-axis is 3, then perpendicular distance from x-axis is also 3 but minus, so this point D is 3 and -3. First quadrant both positive, second quadrant x negative y positive, third quadrant both negative, and fourth quadrant x positive y negative. And see, always x first then y. Clear? So this plane is called the Cartesian plane or xy plane. And we use this plane to describe the position of a point in a plane.